Why should we continue to allow food stamps to go to the able-bodied? Why should we continue to have Medicaid go to the able-bodied and not have work requirements or not deal with the money laundering scam? So now what's going to happen? Well, there's going to be a lot of posturing over the next week. Here's something that everybody should get a bit of a chuckle out of. We had to pass the budget right before Easter. We had to pass the bill right before Memorial Day. Now we are supposed to pass the final bill, get it through the Senate by July 4th. We had to pass the government funding bill right before Christmas. Speaker knows. Now, why do you think that is? Do you think that's just because everybody goes, well, wouldn't it be nice to do that right at those great holidays? No. Something called jet fumes. Every member of Congress has a trip. Personal, business, corporate, whatever. I'm not corporate government. They want to go take a trip. So they always want to have these bills right before that. So everybody comes in and goes, yeah, I'll vote for it. Let's get out of them. Boom. They get out of town. So here we are. And over the next week, there's going to be an enormous amount of pressure brought to bear from the White House, from our leadership on both sides, to get in line and to say, we got to pass it. If we don't pass it, the taxes are going to go up. If we don't pass it, we're not going to get the border funding. If we don't pass it, we don't have a debt ceiling increase, and oh man, the bond markets are going to freak out. We're not going to default on our debt. We're not going to let taxes go up in the end before this year's over. They don't go up till December. We're going to do what we need to do on the border. I'd like to do it in this bill, but I'm not going to do it in this bill if this bill is adding to the debt, not doing what it needs to do on the Green New scam, not doing what it needs to do on Medicaid, not doing what it needs to do on countless other issues. I'm not going to do it if it's going to be a big giveaway to blue state tax jurisdictions and state and local taxes where they want my friends in this conference who represent big tax states like New York, California. Ooh, they want a bigger deduction for their state taxes. Why the hell should I subsidize their stupid decisions in their states for their expensive taxes? Why should my constituents have to do that? Why should we continue to allow food stamps to go to the able-bodied? Why should we continue to have Medicaid go to the able-bodied and not have work requirements or not deal with the money laundering scam? Why shouldn't we, by the way, have health savings accounts? The Senate bill took our health savings accounts out of the House bill. Why should we continue to have taxpayer-funded sex change operations? The Senate bill puts that back in. Why should we not tax these big university endowments, these universities that are engaging in political activism, taking massive federal money and federal student loan support? Why shouldn't we tax more? The Senate reduces our tax on university endowments to raise revenue by 20%. Why shouldn't we stop China from getting taxpayer dollars through the Green New scam subsidies? Our bill prevented China from getting rich off of our tax dollars. The Senate bill takes it out. Why? Why shouldn't we tax the remittances of illegal aliens sending money back to their home countries? Our bill did that. The Senate bill takes it out. We are at a critical juncture in our history as a country. And the question here is, will Republicans step up and put forward transformational reform when they've got the majority in the House, the majority in the Senate, and they've got the White House? Will we deliver on the president's agenda responsibly? Will we actually take this moment to change the trajectory of debt that's killing our country for our kids and grandkids? Or will we continue the same game of tax cuts for everyone, but spending and more spending for everyone? We can't keep doing the same thing. We can't. I know the American people are frustrated. I know they expect us to deliver. And we must deliver. Failure is not an option. But we shouldn't deliver for the sake of it. We shouldn't pass a bill just to check a box.
Today we're looking at Congressman Chip Roy's latest outburst on the House floor, where he attacks blue states, mocks working families, and pretends Republicans are the victims of their own governing failures. Roy starts by ranting about deadlines around holidays, something Congress has done for decades under both parties, but he frames it like some grand conspiracy. Meanwhile, Democrats are the ones who actually passed budgets on time, passed bipartisan bills, and kept the government open when Republicans couldn't govern their own caucus. Then Roy pivots to the SALT deduction. And here's the real story. Republicans capped the SALT deduction in 2017 as part of their massive tax giveaway to billionaires and corporations. It wasn't about blue states making bad decisions. It was about using the tax code to punish states that invest in schools, infrastructure, and healthcare, all while funneling money upward to the wealthiest Americans. But Roy frames it like working-class families in New York or California are stupid for living in places that actually deliver services. Democrats fight to restore SALT because middle-income homeowners were hit hardest by the GOP cap, not because we're trying to subsidize anything. Then Roy brings out the usual Republican culture war checklist. Attack food assistance for able-bodied people, ignoring that most SNAP recipients work, are seniors, or our children. Attack Medicaid, ignoring that expanded Medicaid saves rural hospitals, including in red states whose GOP leaders refuse to accept it. Attack transgender healthcare, even though federal funds do not subsidize elective procedures. Attack universities, because Republicans want to silence political speech they disagree with. Attack green energy, while refusing to admit that China dominates these markets precisely because Republicans fought clean energy investment for decades. Roy complains the Senate removed his most extreme provisions. Good, because eliminating SALT, taxing remittances, banning trans health care, gutting Medicaid, and sabotaging climate policy are not fiscal responsibility. They are cruelty packaged as economic policy. He ends by claiming Republicans hold the House, Senate, and White House and must deliver transformational reform. But that's exactly the problem. When Republicans get power, the agenda they push isn't about helping families, lowering costs, or strengthening democracy. It's tax cuts for the wealthy and culture war fights to distract from the fact that their economic ideas don't work. The real transformational reform this country needs is protecting Social Security and Medicare, strengthening Medicaid and SNAP, restoring the SALT deduction for middle-class homeowners, investing in clean energy and American manufacturing, taxing billionaires and corporations fairly, reforming the budget process, so Congress stops lurching from crisis to crisis. Roy says failure is not an option, but failure is exactly what we get when Republicans use the budget to attack blue states, punish the poor, and wage culture wars instead of governing. Democrats deliver solutions, Republicans deliver sound bites, and today Chip Roy delivered plenty of them.